into this one was interesting for me because the way that they marketed this one, for anyone that doesn't follow them, they're nowhere near as big as they were in their peak. That's for sure. This album, I think, only sold about 2,000 or so in the first week sales, which if you compare that to their other albums years ago, they used to chart on the Billboard Top 100. You got big decline in popularity there, but they've remained one of my favorites. But they were teasing this one going into it as this album's for the fans of us, our longtime fans that can have heavy stuff in there. I didn't fall for that. I knew they weren't going to go back to what they did. What I didn't expect, though, was for it to be such a step up from the last two records. So, Like a House on Fire, as much as I'm a bit of a defender for that album, I still to this day think that the main issue with that is that it was too bloated. So the mediocre to bad songs really weighed down the good ones. Then the one after that was just a bit generic. This one, huge step up. This should have been what preceded those two. And then I feel like the transition into what those two other albums were would have been a little bit less jarring. Best produced record they've had in a while. The production on this is awesome. JT, go back to that track list. There's a lot of just straight 10 out of 10s for me on this one, to be honest. Bad Blood, incredible way to kick off the album. Really energetic. Can see that one going over really well live. Things could be different. Also a straight 10 out of 10 from me. Only critique, if any, but it's nothing against the song itself, is it does sound a little bit similar to one of the songs from their last album. The name is escaping me right now, and I don't know why. I'll have to look it up later. But similar sound to it, but it's really great. Where I deviate from some people here is on Let Go. This is my least favorite on the album. It's still a good song. This is still a 7 out of 10 for me. I don't think there's a single bad song on this record. This one's just not the greatest. It has potential, but I feel like it never hits the strides it's going for. And then we get into Psycho, which I guess I also deviate from people on a bit, and it's not one of my favorites on the record. I think it's still well done. And when I say not favorites, it's still like 8 or 9 territory here. There's not a single mediocre to bad song on here, I don't think. But I'm kind of shocked, JT, that you like this one so much, because I remember you did not like a House on Fire, and this song has that album written all over it. You could place this anywhere on that record and it would fit right in. Right down to like some hip hop, like in like hip hop styled like trap beats in the some of the verses there. Not too heavily, but it's definitely there. Like I said, it's another number one mainstream rock song for them, which is great. Love that for them. Hopefully it'll give them an uptick for the next record whenever that comes. I know they're already starting to work on it. Dark Void, lead single here. When I first heard this, it was sitting at like an 8 or a 9, but the more I heard it, the more I liked it. This is another straight 10 out of 10 here. Really love the breakdown in there. Love what they did with the chorus. Really great track. Really good lead single. I think is the best lead single they've had in a while. Nothing Left, another 10 out of 10. Love the breakdown that kind of sneaks in at the end there. And that's one thing I really like about the record in general, is every time they have a breakdown, it's not necessarily a by the books, like you feel it coming, okay, here's the breakdown. It kind of sneaks up and it comes in at the end. And I actually really like that. It's, if you compare it to like Stand Up and Scream, where it's like, okay, here's where the breakdown comes in. It's coming. In a lot of these tracks, you're like, this song's not gonna have a breakdown. And then at the end, they're like, actually, no, here's a little bit of breakdown for you. It's not gonna be anything too crazy, but it's enough to kind of get your fix of that little metalcore essence that they did bring back a little bit. I still don't know if I would consider this a straight metalcore record. It's probably still more hard rock leaning than anything, which brings me into Feel. Second least favorite track on the record, 8 out of 10. It's not bad.
8 out of 10 is your secondly.
Yeah.
Wow. Boy,
Yeah,
you're being hard
I
on this.
really love this album. This is my This is my album of the year so far. There is one that came out recently that might top this, but I'll keep that a surprise, but we'll see. Um, I've only had a little bit of time to sit with that one. But yeah, after having about what's it been, 2 months, almost 3 months now to sit with this one, it hasn't gone down in its rankings. It's stayed pretty much on top there. Let the Dead Take Me, one of my favorite songs they've done in a while, because it goes away from that straight like mainstream rock sound, but also not directly into that metalcore sound either. Kind of has like this creepy circus vibe going on. Really dig that. Kill It With Fire. Not an Alexandria song. That's a weird addition. I really do like the hardcore influence on that one though. I'm curious to see what Mike has to say on that. But that is interesting to me because Ben Bruce, the guitarist, had a side project that's supposed to come out years ago. I think like pre-COVID times or like right around that time. That was supposed to be a punk band with Matt Good called Kill It With Fire. So considering it's Ben Bruce also on the vocals, which to me is the only thing that brings it down, is if you put Danny on that song and had him do like screaming or like his low growls on there, I think it would have been elevated more. It's just a little bit jarring in context of the album where it is. Holding on to something more, best chorus on the album. That chorus is absolutely massive. It's an emotional track, really good. And then to round out the album with where do we go from here? If if I'm gonna be honest, if they keep up this style, probably up. I think one of the main reasons this album didn't sell well is the failure of the last two, and then the horrendous promotion from I think they're on Better Noise Records, something like that. JT, you want to check that up there? It says, yeah, Better Noise. Terrible. If you were not a follower of this band, you would not have known this was coming out. Whereas back when they were on Sumerian, which you can say all you want about how terrible they were, that Sumerian is not a great label. They did Ask Alexandria pretty dirty, quite a lot. But they were all over the place then. Now, like I said, if you didn't follow them actively, can guarantee you, Mike, I bet you, JT, I doubt would because he doesn't follow like the metalcore pages or anything. But Mike, can you honestly say you saw any advertisement for this record
No, not at
outside of me
all.
saying it? Exactly.
Yeah. Nope.
Which is a shame because I think that out of the things that they've done in recent years, this tops it. Would I put it
Uh,
in line with their best three albums? Those first three, they had those first three albums is one of the best three runs of any metalcore band that I'm a fan of. Like they were just top tier albums.
I didn't see a
So
lot of
to
like YouTube reactions to it either, or like anything
no,
like that. I don't know. Generally see like Facebook ads or YouTube reactions or the
yeah, I
like.
mean, I think Nick Nocturnal did one for Dark Void.
Mhm.
I don't think he was that into it, which is fine. But I think again, when I watched his video, a lot of it came down to the way that the band tried to market it as because when they teased that song, they teased just part of the breakdown and they were like, you get ready for the heavy stuff. And then nothing on here was really that heavy, which to me is fine. I don't need something to be heavy. I just need it to be well written and good. And I think that's what we got here. But yeah, that final track, super emotional track. I love how it just kind of builds toward that big bombastic ending there. Very well done. Looking forward to what they're going to do next. Give this one probably a 9.25 out of 10 total. Love this record. Album of the year so far.